So super exciting. I'm doing my first ever podcast. So if you don't already know me, I do already do like YouTube and TikTok mainly, just lifestyle stuff. And this is my long-awaited, I won't say long-awaited, it's only been a week, birth story. So if you follow me on TikTok, you'll notice I've been logging my pregnancy journey. So today I'm going to actually tell you what happened. So grab a cozy drink, it's December, get the festive snacks, mince pies, whatnot. I've got some giant strawbs, because they're veggie and they smell good and they're nice. Or grab yourself an alcoholic drink, why not? Go for it. So I'm not going to make this like scary if you're already pregnant right now. If you have been watching my updates, you'll know I've been like super scared for this, for labour. And I was just constantly logging like, oh my god, I can't do it. So this is more like not super positive but not negative, just like real what happened. I'm not shy, so I'll tell you all the gory details, but all the details. I do also have a few questions from you guys that I put on my Instagram, so we'll go through those as well afterwards. So I shall shut up mumbling and let's get right into it. So it all started last Friday. My waters broke around 3:30 in the morning. So I'd gone to the toilet like you usually do. I was 41 weeks at this point, exactly 41 weeks. Went to the toilet, went back to bed, and had like a little like gush of something. Kind of, when you're pregnant, you get all sorts of stuff coming out of you down there. So I kind of thought, I don't know, is that waters or is it just general stuff? So I went back to sleep, and then I needed the toilet again like an hour later. And there was like more. So I was like, I think this could potentially be waters, maybe. And then my stomach was a little crampy, which I had been getting cramps for like on and off the last couple of weeks anyway, so I wasn't too concerned. And they do say that you tend to get contractions before your waters break. It's not as common that your waters break first, so that's why I was a bit like, But anyhow, so I got myself a hot water bottle, got back into bed, and then it just got worse, and then there was like quite a lot gushed out. So at about 5 a.m, I told Luke at this point, and then I called triage. Yeah, I called triage, and sort of told them, I think waters have broken, this is what happened, blah blah blah. They asked me to come in, so we got all the stuff ready, went to the hospital. This was like, I think we got there for like 5 or 6, no, it must have been like 6 a.m. Went in there in like the midwife bit, and they just checked basically, and she had a look and she was like, yeah, that's definitely waters. At this point as well, they put the heart, the pressure thingy-majiggy, whatever you call it, on me, and that was going crazy, like, and it was probably stressing me out. It's because I couldn't calm myself, because it was like, oh my god, it's happening, sort of thing. And that was just going crazy, and my blood pressure. So they kept coming back and checking it, and then they had to give me like some tablets to lower it. But I just think that was all in my head. And then they said to me, so your waters have broken, but you're not in active labour, so go home. If you go into labour, like if contractions start really regular, then come back in. If not, come back in 24 hours to be induced, because they don't like you to go over 24 hours when your waters have broken. Risk of infection and stuff. So I went home, and then I was getting contractions like every 5 to 10 minutes. And this lasted the full 24 hours that I was at home. I was in absolute agony, and they're just progressively getting worse. I was like pacing around the house, trying to use a hot water bottle. I must have had about 5 baths. I literally just did not know what to do with myself. And then they were getting like more and more intense, and I was trying to track them. And then they would get like closer together, but then there'd be a longer gap. So then I couldn't. I called triage like 3 times, and they're like, wait till it's 4 to 5 minutes. I was like, okay. And then I called them again. I was like, no, wait until it's 2 to 3 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, this is torturous. So I couldn't sleep that entire time. I couldn't like watch anything because I couldn't concentrate. I was just like pacing, trying to sleep, couldn't sleep. Maybe got a couple of minutes sleep in between. It was just an absolute nightmare. Anyhow, so it got to the 24 hours. Called them. I was like, right, it's, you know, you've told me to come in at this time. I'm going to come in now. So we got the car ready again. Off we went, and then they took us into the labour ward, and we went into our room, which was nice actually, because you get your like own room, and like the lights were dimmed, there was aircon in there, and I was like, oh, it's quite nice actually. Get your own little bathroom, and it was like private, and I was like, oh, it's, you know, quite happy with this. Oh, top tip, definitely take your own pillows. Definitely do that. That reminds me. So yeah, we got in there at like 4:45 in the morning. The midwife were on their break. How rude. No, I'm joking. They do an amazing job. They can have breaks. And so we was left sort of to our own devices for about an hour. And at that point, my contractions proper peaked. Like, they proper started getting like really regular. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to eat and talk. But we'll try. We're getting proper regular and more painful. At this point, I've still had like no pain relief whatsoever. So I've been like 20 like plus hours, no pain relief, just horrific. So Luke went and asked someone, is there anything they can do? I can't eat and talk. I'm gonna put that on. So then midwife came in. She gave me this tablet. I can't remember what it was. And then this guy came in. He took some bloods and put, I don't know what you call it, like the thing for the drip in your arm. I've still got some bruising from that. Nice battle scar. And he was like digging around for ages, and oh my god, it was grim. So he did that. He checked my blood pressure. That was fine this time. And yeah, I was just in a lot of pain. So that woman came in, she gave me that tablet, and then she let me go on the gas and air. So I started on the gas and air. And the first couple of puffs, like, make your head... Joking. That's why I shouldn't eat and talk. Yeah, the first couple of puffs, like, my head sort of went, like, a little bit dizzy. Oh, my God. And it was such a weird sensation. I was like, oh, this is strange. But then, like, once you get used to how to do it, so you start, like, proper breathing through and then releasing through when the contraction comes, it actually really does help, and it helps you stay calm. And then because you're focusing on how to use it, you're not panicking, if that makes sense, because you're like focusing on something. So I was doing that for a good few hours. The midwives came in, they checked me and said you're about 2 to 3 centimetres dilated, so that was good. And then a few hours went on, got to 4 centimetre. At this point, I did ask for some more pain relief, because gas nail wasn't cutting it at this point. Like, the contractions were bad. So I did have the first injection, which is the first one they give you. Something beginning with a P. I can't remember the exact name. There's all sorts of names for things. That didn't really cut it either. So then I asked for something else, and I got the diamorphine injection. And yeah, that was good. And you literally don't care either at that point. You're just like, yeah, just do anything. So just put it in. So that was incredible. That really helped with the pain. And also, it kind of made you feel like spaced out. So I was feeling great at that point. I didn't really know. I knew where I was, but it was like that. Your body kind of takes over. Like, you're there, but you're not there. So time just like flew by because you just, like, you're in a zone, like, you proper are in a zone. And when people say you don't have time to panic, it's so true. Because I was super concerned, if you watched my, like, vlogs and updates about that. Because pre-pregnancy, like, my main trigger for panic attacks was stomach cramps. So, like, before I got pregnant, if ever I got a stomach cramp, that would make me panic. Because I thought, if I got a stomach cramp, I'm going to be sick, I'm going to faint, and... yeah, so that used to be my main trigger. So I used to think with labour, how am I going to cope without freaking out? But I don't know. You just go into a completely different mindset, a different zone. And it just happens. I don't know. But yeah, that diamorphin was amazing. That really helped. So I had that, and I was just kind of like in and out of sleep, but not in pain. So it was actually quite nice. And then it was hard to go for a wee. I kept getting like a strong urge to go for a wee. Tried to go for a wee, struggled to move, and like not much came, and it was really hard. But I did manage at one point. And then I got more and more dilated, and it got to the point where she was like, "Great, you're 10 centimeters dilated. Your baby's gonna be here in a couple hours." We're like, "Oh, great." This was at like 3:30 in the afternoon. So we'll wait a little bit for him to like move down, because your body goes for that like sort of relaxed stage at the moment. And at this point I was like, oh my god, it's happening. Like, I did get a bit scared at that point, but you kind of know it needs to happen, and you're so over it at that point, especially if you've been in labour for that long like I was. You're so over it, you'll do anything to get that baby out. So an hour later she's like, right, we're going to start pushing. So started pushing every time a contraction came. And they tell you to like push through your bum, so like big deep breath in and push through your bum. I didn't scream or anything, but I was just using the gas and air at this point. So pushing. I think I did wee when I was pushing. I'm pretty sure it was wee. Apparently I didn't poo, but everyone tells you don't poo if you do poo, so I don't know. Did I not? I didn't smell anything that I recall, but I definitely weed. And I definitely threw up as well. I think that was before I started pushing. I think that was the meds. I did be sick. So yeah, I was pushing, and then in between the pushes, Luke was feeding me a bit of energy drink to like get me through. So I was doing that for an hour. It got to an hour, and they sort of said, you know, it looks like he's kind of stuck in the birth canal. Like, it was like that far off, but there wasn't any progression, and I was pushing like with all my force. And I was obviously getting tired at this point. So a few doctors come in, and they was like, right, show me how you're pushing. So I like pushed as hard as I could, and they're like, yeah, seems to be an issue. So they pushed like these alarms, and then like more people come in. But at this point there was like loads of people coming in, but I was still like in and out of like, I don't know, sleep consciousness. I don't think consciousness, but like in and out of sleep. I was just like, I couldn't keep my eyes open. And then this woman came over and started like reading consent forms to me for the epidural and forceps and C-section. So she read all that to me, but I was kind of like dozing, so I couldn't really concentrate on what she was saying. So I kind of like signed that, and then they put me in a hospital gown and whisked me off to theatre, chucked some scrubs at Luke. He had to get changed. This was like 4:30ish, 5:ish. That point I was scared. Like, I was really scared, but just kind of knew it had to be done, sort of thing. So they whisked me off, took me into theatre, laid me on this like big bed thing, and then, sat me up first before they laid me on it. Gave me like a numbing injection first in my back, and then put the epidural in so you didn't feel it. And honestly, not even kidding, did not feel a thing. Like, don't be scared of the epidural. If you are, you honestly don't feel it at all. You feel a tiny little nip with the numbing needle, and then nothing. Like, seriously, did not feel anything there at all. And then as soon as like they've done it, like you like start feeling like tingly and like really warm, and it just starts going numb. It was really strange. So then like laid me down, got me into position, and then this woman was like spraying cold water on me. So she was like, spray it here, can you feel that? Yeah. And then she like spraying it here, can you feel it? And then she kept doing that until I couldn't feel it on the stomach area. So I was like numb from here down. And then the funny thing is with so this was going on to forceps first. So I had that. And then with forceps, they were getting me to push whilst they were trying to pull. But you can't feel yourself pushing. It's the weirdest experience ever. But I was still kind of out of it at this point, so I still wasn't, too beside myself. I was kind of just going with it. And I was doing a good few pushes, and this went on for like half an hour or so, I think. And I was struggling to get him out that way. So we were panicking. It was like this close to a C-section, like so close. So he had to cut me as well, which is called, there's a name for it, espistory. You'll probably laugh at me if I don't pronounce that. You know what I mean. I'm sleep deprived. So yeah, basically I had to cut my vagina to make it wider to get him out. And then they eventually got him out, and that was so good. I sort of put him on me and then whisk him off like really quick, so I didn't even get to like see him or hold him or anything. So that was really scary at that point. And then loads of doctors started rushing into the room. They whisked him off, and then they're sort of saying they didn't really confirm. There was kind of and ahhing it whether it was a faint heartbeat or no heartbeat, but basically they said he had to be resuscitated. And I don't know if that was like proper CPR or if it was just like some oxygen. I didn't really fully confirm that, but it was only like whisk away for like 5-10 minutes, but it literally felt like a lifetime. So like Luke was getting upset, but I was still kind of away with the fairies sort of thing, not really, like in complete shock, not really knowing what's going on sort of thing. So I just kind of laid there like, you know. And then they came over and was like, Luke, do you want to come meet your son? So Luke got to go meet him first and brought him over so I could look. And then I had to lay there for like another half an hour while I got stitched up. Just lovely. Loads of people there and I'm just getting stitched up. And when they was pulling as well, actually, one of the ladies behind me, she like grabbed me here and she was like, I'm just going to have to hold you because they might pull you off the bed. So I couldn't feel anything at all when they were pulling. Like I could not feel no pain, no anything. But I was being like sort of pulled up and down. I could feel that. That was odd, bizarre. So yeah, and then once they finally finished stitching me up, we got moved into the theatre recovery ward. We were the only ones in there, so it's quite weird. So he was born at 1847 on the Saturday the 26th. Got taken into there, and I was still obviously completely numb and just kind of out of it. And when we got into the recovery, I had like the blood pressure on. I think I had an antibiotic drip on my arm as well. Yeah, I think. And my legs were obviously numb, so I couldn't hold Junior. I think I did hold him like this, obviously, but I couldn't like move with him or get up or anything. Then one of the midwives come over and she was like, "Oh, there's still blood in your wee," and I was like, "Have I weed myself?" Like, what? How does she know what my wee? I haven't been for a wee. And Luke was like, "You've got a catheter," and I was like, "Oh, lovely." So I was drinking like loads and loads and loads of water to try and flush that through, and they're like, "It's still not flushing through. We'll have to take some of your bloods." Turned out they just needed to change the catheter because it got clogged up. So they did that. That was fine. Luke had to do first nappy by himself and first change, and he had sick and poo on him and all sorts. And then I was trying to breastfeed as well. So that was quite difficult. One of the midwives was trying to help me because Junior was like struggling to latch on, because when you do it for the first time it's quite tricky and you don't really know what you're doing, and there was not much milk there, just like a little bit of colostrum. And we was in there from like 7 p.m. till 4 a.m. And then Luke had to go home when they took me to the labour ward because visitors weren't allowed there till 8 a.m. And then, so Luke went home at that point, he went to sleep. I got taken to the other ward, which was also difficult because I still was attached to everything and my legs were numb. So I was really struggling to look after Junior by myself for them like 4 hours. I managed to get like a little bit of sleep, just a little bit. But not much. That like entire time, like I hardly slept. And then my mum actually came in the morning because Luke was just exhausted. He'd obviously had no sleep for that entire time as well. So my mum chilled with me there. And I was like fine in the labour ward. I was like, this is fine. Obviously because I still had all the painkillers in me, so I couldn't feel anything. And basically in there, you just chilled. They like brought you toast, tea. And then you just like sort of laid in there. I had to do some like wee samples before I was sort of released. And And then throughout the day, someone came in and checked Junior over, so sort of checked his legs, his heartbeat, his hearing, just did like a full body check just to make sure he was okay. They finally took my catheter out. Ugh, gross. And actually, my first wee, even though I had stitches, wasn't even bad. It didn't even sting. Probably because I drank so much water. But yeah, that actually didn't even hurt. That was fine. But then when I went to the toilet, I had a lovely surprise of huge, this is gross, but I'm going to say it, huge piles, external piles. Yeah, that's the thing. And I was like traumatized. I was like, oh my god, what is that? Apparently it's common, but that was, oh my god, that was awful. They're so painful as well. What the hell? So you've got that pain from there, you've got them. Oh my god. Horrible. Actually awful. And I was going through like adult nappies like there's no tomorrow with the bleeding. So I was in there all day and finally got discharged about 3-4 o'clock on the Sunday afternoon, and went home. And since then, I think I've injured my tailbone, which is a whole nother story for postpartum. So I think that's everything. Of course, I had lots of medication, so I probably, missed bits and stuff. But yeah, so I got a few questions from you guys, so I'm just going to run through those, and then we'll wrap it up as our first YouTube video podcast. So let me just grab my phone. So we've got a question from Anna. She's asked, how long was you in labour? So I think it was like 3:30 in the morning on Friday and came home, and the labour finished at 10 to 7 Saturday evening. So there we go. Diane, no questions, just hope you are feeling better. Thank you. Not really, not yet. They ain't kidding when they talk about baby blues, and this pain in my tailbone is horrific. I'm sat on a hot water ball right now. But yeah. And then we have one from Yeesh. You were really scared. Was it better than you thought it would be? It kind of not. In terms of how long it was, the fact that I had to go through all of normal labour and then through to theatre for forceps, that obviously wasn't what I was expecting. But the care you get and everything, yeah, that was better than what I thought. And then my journey into nursing, a full in-depth start to finish explanation, which we've just ran through. J Fizzle, did you do anything to prep your body for birth? Do you know what? Not really. I drank some red leaf raspberry tea, but I didn't drink it a lot. I just kind of had the odd one, so I don't know. Yeah, so not really. I did have a birthing ball, but the dog popped it, and I didn't really like it too much anyway. I did do some exercise, the mile circuit. So if you put on YouTube the mile circuit, that gives you some exercises. So if you type in like exercises to start labour naturally, when I did that, I lost my mucus plug, so I think it sort of jiggled something. But that's all I did really. I didn't really do much else. Chloe, any tips of how to focus through the pain and manage anxiety? Focus through the pain. I think what got me through each contraction is concentrate on that particular one, and the fact that the contraction only lasts 30 seconds to a minute kind of makes you feel a little bit better, because like it's going to finish like real soon, like it's going to stop. And just the fact that it's not going to last forever, that main focus. And just what people say really, like your body's made for it, look at all the people that have done it. That kind of gave me some comfort. And anxiety, like I said, just try to take it as it comes. I know it's so much easier said than done, because I was just a nightmare. But when it starts, I'm not even joking, you just your body just takes over. Like, don't even worry, it'll just do its thing. And from Active, how was your labour? So yeah, that's kind of what I've just been through, It was an experience. But yeah, they're all the questions. So I hope that was useful. Hope you enjoyed listening to it, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, subscribe and check me out on TikTok. Let me know your experiences or any other questions you've got. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And let me know if you'd like to see more. I shall see you in my next one.